What inspired each of you to get into acting?
No math.
No math.
Welcome, friends and fans, to another edition of GalaxyCon Live, where we are bringing the convention experience directly to you. And today, we are going back to the wild world of the Winchester brothers with several fantastic guests from Supernatural. So without further ado, let's rev up, baby, and see who we find. Our first guest is an actor whose credits include Riftworld Chronicles, Dollhouse, and of course, Battlestar Galactica. Today joins us to discuss the role of the Angel Gadreel. Please welcome Tahmoh Penikett. Hey, boss. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I am well in my corner of the world. Good to see you again. I got to host you on stage at an event in Orlando several years ago, and I'm glad to have you on our virtual stage here.
Well, I'm very happy to be back. It's good to see you, Patty.
Good to see you again, boss. Everything's good in your corner of the world?
Everything's good. Yeah, we're just we're trying to survive the heat up here in Western Canada. We've been having crazy heat waves and forest fires and such, but everything otherwise is good.
Absolutely. Well, absolutely glad to have you on our virtual stage, and good to see you again in good health and good spirit.
Thank you, sir.
No, don't call me sir, please. That is it. Our next guest, she is an actress and singer whose credits include Doric Fandango, Devil in the Dark, and Repo the Genetic Opera. Today, she joins us to discuss the role of Sheriff Donna Hanscum. Please welcome Briana Buckmaster. Or Buckmaster, I'm sorry.
Buckmaster.
Buckmaster. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I am sorry. I am sorry.
Okay, that's one. That's one, Patty.
All right. Well, then let me make it up to you by wishing you a happy birthday.
It was like
2 days ago. 3 days ago. Absolutely. All right. So I'll help you blow out the candle if you want. 1, 2.
Now my computer is no longer COVID safe now.
That's okay. Yeah, it's fine. And I've got wax on my computer. We're all good.
Well, thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely great to have you here. Thanks so much for joining us, and a happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Indeed. Next, she is an actress whose body work includes Castlevania, SEAL Team, and The Mandalorian. Today, she joins us to discuss the role of the Darkness, sometimes known as Amara. Please welcome back Emily Swallow.
Hello.
Hello. Emily, how you been?
I've been good. I'm much better now that I get to see these smiley people.
Oh, I'll just bet. I'll just bet. So, things are the same here in Florida?
Are you in Florida too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm in Florida right now.
Oh,
Did you already know that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we at the Jacksonville show. I see you there. I'll say, yeah, you know
everything. Yeah, we're just doing okay. It's hot.
I know. Yeah, but it's just so weird. The rest of the world's like 110, and I'm like, well, we're like 90-ish, but
we're used to this. Yeah,
I'll take it. Yeah, anyway, too. So, well, Emily, so glad to have you here once again. As always, great to see you.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Indeed. And next, she is an actress whose roles include Slasher, Star Trek Discovery, and Shadow Hunters. Today, she joins us to discuss the role of the Reaper known as Billie. Please welcome Lisa Perry.
Hi. Hey. Happy to be here. Thanks for letting me join.
Of course. And how are you doing?
I'm doing really good.
Oh, so absolutely glad to have you here. And how are things in your corner of the world?
You know, we're just starting to reopen things up in good old Toronto, Ontario. So I feel like taking a big old breath because now I can join the rest of the world and go and just have lunch on a patio. Maybe get my hair did.
Oh, that'd be very nice. Very nice. Well, so glad to have you here. And thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And next, he's an actor whose credits include Halo 4. In the CW Arrowverse, he is known as Brandon Joy. And of course, he is in Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. Today, he joins us to discuss the role of Prophet Kevin Tran. Please welcome Osric Chau.
Well, hello.
Hey!
Very excited to be here.
How you doing, boss?
I'm doing pretty good up here in Vancouver. Also, heat wave. That was not a great time, but we're making the best of it.
Absolutely. So good to have you here. And I just want to say I'm a big fan of Choi from the DC universe, and I thought you played the character fantastically.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm very excited for Choi moving forward as well.
Me too. Costume. And we'll leave it at that. And next, she is an actress and producer whose credits include The Cursed Man, Disney Infinity, and she is here to join us to discuss the role of the witch Rowena MacLeod. Please welcome Ruth Connell. Hey.
Hi.
And how are you doing?
I'm okay. It's a Sunday morning, but I'm holding it together.
Oh, very nice. Well, very glad to have you here, and it is indeed a pleasure. And finally, she is an actress whose roles include Transformers, Two of a Kind, and Jerry Maguire. Today, she joins us to discuss the role of matriarch Mary Winchester. Please welcome Samantha Smith.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello. How are you doing?
Aces.
Aces. All right. As long as it's not over 8, so we're all good and dandy. So thank you for joining us. Thank you all for joining us on the GalaxyCon virtual stage, our online forum. So great to have you here. Our team has been going through the chat room, pulling out the questions for us. And if they are good to go, I say let's jump on in and roll our first one. And this comes from Sam, who wants to know, who was your favorite supernatural character other than your own?
No pressure. There's so few to choose from.
Not loaded or anything. I have an answer.
Lay it on us.
I mean, I hate favorites. I can never choose like absolute favorites, but I have to say Baby, because I think for being an inanimate object, Baby is fascinating, and Baby got her own episode, and all of the love that got packed onto her. And all the stories that she got to witness, I think that she's got the most secrets to tell.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
that's the best answer for that question I've ever heard. That's great.
I always loved Lucifer, just because I thought it was such a multi-dimensional character, played by so many. I'm a sucker for a villain, so you know.
I loved when Misha, when Castiel played Lucifer. Did that happen?
Yeah, well, the best part was Misha was playing Mark playing Lucifer.
Yes. See, I don't actually know the show well enough, and now like my brain, I'm just like, I can't remember anything, but I remember the actors, because I can't help myself when I watch the show, especially if you know the actors, you're watching them going, oh, how did he do that? And I know that, you know, Misha had a process when he did that, but it's just fascinating when I watch people that I know personally on the show. So yeah, I think that was
I was there on the first day that Misha did his first scene playing Lucifer, and what he hadn't realized upon reading the script was that in opening his shirt up, that the writers had written "I'm coming" on his chest, meaning like Lucifer. So that was and the executives from the network happened to be there that day. And yeah, we were all kept our faces straight, and there was no very professional.
Wait, he didn't know that it was written. He didn't know.
He didn't put together. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming." He didn't actually understand. He put his shirt, and I was going to say, "I'm coming."
It was an early call, Briana. It was an early call.
Jesus. Wow. I really expected more from Misha. Well done.
Oh, that's good.
Did I just bring the tone right down straight away? I'm sorry.
No, he's gonna get there eventually.
No. Who's got another?
My character was.
It's okay to say baby.
Always Crowley. I got to say, I always loved Crowley. Same thing. I love villains, and I mean, my time on the show was during the Crowley era, and I got to watch a lot of Mark Sheppard, and he's a very interesting fellow by his own right, but his character was always very reflective of him, and I was just so fascinated by Crowley, and Mark, because I just couldn't put myself in his headspace most of the time, and I was just like so fascinated by just how this character, this person could be and exist.
I enjoyed Crowley too. You know, I had the same experience. Mark came on to Battlestar on I think the end of the third season, and then he worked with us for a bunch of the fourth. And he's that actor. I just met him, and he arrived, and then whenever I was sharing scenes or even not, and I was watching him work, I was fascinated by the guy. I really was. Fantastic work. You can't take your eyes off him. But Mark he's a real character. I love him. He's a character.
Why isn't he here?
Absolutely.
Why isn't he here?
We had him on a few weeks ago for another Supernatural event. So sorry. We'll get him booked with y'all next time. I promise.
You better, Patty.
Okay. Well, hey, I'm just the hood ornament here. I just I'm the end of the. I don't make those above my pay grade. So, Lisa, did we get one from you?
I'm with Emily on this one with Baby.
Okay.
Just because Baby's always had a little bit of a fascination for me, and I just remember one episode I was like, I really wanted to like have a picture inside of Baby, and Jensen was just like, go ahead, and I was like, Baby's like a black girl's hair. You can't just touch it without permission. So I need to get the A-OK. And then he's like, get in there. And I was like, and I totally like geeked out for a moment. And then I was like, okay, I'm back in character.
With the scythe.
Yeah.
How many of you have been in the trunk of Baby?
Say what? Trunk?
In the trunk.
Never been in the trunk.
Never been in the trunk. Oh. There's still time, though. There's still time.
Still time, right?
What was that like? Was it closed, Tahmoh?
They closed it for a second. I'm not claustrophobic.
Okay.
Yikes.
It's a big trunk. I'm a big guy. It's a big trunk.
That's what? Very good point. Good to know. All noted.
Absolutely. Ruth, did we get yours?
No, but because I spoke quite a lot, I thought maybe I avoided the question quite well.
You can say Baby or Crawley, and we can move on. I'm
not going to say Crowley. My God.
I mean, your character and his character certainly had a. You both had character journeys.
Exactly.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Sam, thank you very much. Great question to start us off with. And what do we have next? Here's one from Sophie and Sadie, who come to a lot of our shows. If you could spend a day with your character from Supernatural, what would you do?
I think Briana and Donna would go hiking. I think we just do something, and she would like point out, and I would be so bored, and Donna would be like, "This is the, this is the plant that came from this." She would know like all the plant names, and she'd just be so, and I'd be like, "Okay, sure. When's lunch?" That's where I would be at.
Fair.
I think I'd teach Mary to cook. She can't cook at all.
Are you a good cook, Samantha?
Yeah, I'm a decent cook.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
I believe it.
I'm a terrible cook.
I'd marathon most of as much Star Wars as we could with Gadreel. I'd sit him down and get some snacks and maybe some drinks, and we'd marathon Star Wars.
That's good.
Interesting.
He's an age where he didn't know much about pop culture and stuff, and he really wanted to know. He really wanted to know.
Now, here's the question. Do you go in chronological order of release, like start episode 4, or would you go in narrative order?
No, you got to go in order. You have to go in the order that was released.
Right.
Yes. A smart guy. You figure it out.
I think I would play video games with Kevin, probably a co-op something, and we just like grind the entire day and finish the thing in a 24 hours.
3-day session, no sleep.
Yeah, like Halo or like Call of Duty or
no, probably like a puzzle game or like Overcooked. Something a little high stress that requires communication and cooperation, and then we just
all right.
Nice.
Fair enough.
Fair.
Yeah.
Absolutely fair.
So what would you do instead?
It's a co-op game. You played.
Oh, you cut off there, Ruth. What was that?
I think I'd probably be reading everything.
Ruth got a little jumpy there.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, can I just ask a quick question? Ruth, are you at home? Is that your lovely home, or is that a hotel room? Because it looks almost like a very nice hotel room.
This is my lovely home.
Oh, I love the flowers and it's great.
My mom did this painting as well. So
Beautiful.
Homemade.
Okay, Lisa, you were about to answer. I want to hear your answer.
Oh, I was just saying, I think I would sit down and read a lot of Death's books and be like, okay, how are people going to go? Avoiding my own, of course,
Yes.
But I would definitely probably be like, okay, let's check this out, and then maybe go karting. Why not?
Why not? Go-karting.
I love it.
The secret to everyone's doom. Let's go karting.
That sounds fun.
I would do something similar. I would go with Rowena and get her to do a spell so that I could have a magical closet with unlimited space. all her clothes and all my clothes, all just there, like in some kind of magical kind of conveyor belt
kind of closet where you could, no matter what, there was just always room for it.
Yeah, and her outfit, like her outfit's there for me too, because I would borrow some of those.
It sounds great.
Organize. That's what I do with Rowena. I would organize my closet and make it
Nice.
I would take some of Amara's clothes from season 15 and go back to season 11 and give her something else to wear. And
That's right.
I would go back to the episode where Ruth and I got to spend a lot of time together, and I would talk to the locations people and choose a tropical island, because we had all these fabulous scenes together, and we were inside this dank, dark, like grain silo, and it was freezing. Right. We were like, why did these two women choose this place to meet? So I do a little rewrite, right?
Was it the sugar refinery, or was it actually a grain silo?
It was a silo, like an actual, and you had the sulfuric stuff sort of. Our dresses were both long and damp and wet at the bottom, and it was like slapping against your bare legs, like with the stuff from the ground. At 1 o'clock in the morning.
And all of the crew was like bundled up in their like Canadian
and reindeer.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Sophie and Sadie, thank you so much. That was a great question for us. And what do we have next? Here's one from Denny. What inspired each of you to get into acting?
No math.
No math.
Although these days I would take math, honestly.
Yeah, my reason is very similar to no math. I had a hatred for everything else except for this acting thing. It was actually acting and stunts, and then stunts. My stunt work got me my first acting job, and then no one saw me as a stunt person.
I didn't know that. That's cool. I mean, it does not surprise me in the least, but I had no idea that you did stunts. That's so cool.
My first job was I played a kung fu master guy in this Spike TV miniseries, and they hired me because I could do my own stunts and I could act. But I didn't really see myself as an actor. I saw myself as a stunt person who could act, but my manager was pushing me as an actor who could do his own stunts. And so it worked out. And then after that, I never did stunts for anything, and no one thought I could do martial arts. So
was there ever a time where they like had to hire a stuntman for you and you're like, I'm good, actually, don't worry about it?
I've had a couple of stunt doubles, and they're usually people I've trained with, or I've got like a stunt double that I've had before. And like for me, like having been on the stunt side, I will never like say like don't hire a stunt guy, because like we all need a living. So even if I can do my own stunts, I'll have someone else do it. I mean, they're trained to do it. They can do it better. Yeah, they should be able to do it better. That's what they get paid to do. So like you always open it.
When we were preparing for the spinoff, we did 3 months of stunt training. And I worked with my stunt double. Her name is Michelle C. Wright, and you should follow her on Instagram because she's fucking unbelievable. And she would, and I would train together. And then when it came to the actual episode, I would do the whole stunt, and they'd be like, "Okay, let's do a take with Michelle." And she just looks so like I can do it, but I'm using my knee to get off the ground and all that. And she's just like, she was unbelievable. And then you're just like, well, stunt people are just so good at their job. You're just like, people are good at their job for a reason. Let them do their job. So I think it's so cool that you did that. What was the question?
What inspired you to go into acting? So we got no math, we got stunt work, and who else wants to chime in?
I wanted to get out of the Yukon, and I thought that
fair.
The Yukon, the acting industry, when I finished high school and stuff, and I moved down to Vancouver, that I could probably live in this imaginary world, this incredible world that I always saw in film when I was a child. growing up in a small northern Canadian community, I used to always found it fascinating when I see these films and I'd see like someone, you know, you'd see an actor who had learned how to play piano for the role. I'd just pepper my dad with questions. I'm like, so the guy didn't play piano before? They taught him to play piano like that for the film? And he'd be like, yeah, they immerse these actors. They have the time and the budget for these things. I've never, of course, reached that point in my career, but what I saw in films was pretty amazing. And it was something to aspire to. And yeah, that was part of the reason I wanted to do it.
Wow.
Nice.
Can I have a follow-up question, Tahmoh? Have you learned anything for a role?
I mean, you know, I've had to crunch. I've had to speak different languages. It's not a lot, but I've you know, 3 or 4 different languages where I've had to learn a small monologue in a fairly short amount of time that wouldn't warrant it. You know, I'm a perfectionist about that. I want to, you know, when I hear the oral speaker saying it, I want to get it right. I want it to sound perfect. So that's been challenging, but I've really enjoyed doing it. So that's one thing. Beyond speaking different languages, not really. I mean, you're always learning quick little skills. You know, I played a blacksmith once, and I got to do a bit of, you know, the hammering and all that and shaping some hot metal, but there wasn't a lot of it. Nothing too exciting, man.
You had to learn how to fly a Colonial Viper.
This is true. This is true. I learned how to sweat a lot too. Latex outfit, rocking that all for many years.
Emily, did you learn to forge stuff?
Yeah, I was gonna. That got me excited, Tahmoh, because I got to work just a teeny tiny bit with a blacksmith for the armor, and it was just so fascinating and such a relief because you see it and it looks so graceful, and so you think like, oh yeah, I can do that. Yeah. And then I start swinging a hammer and I realize how awkward and clumsy it is, and having somebody there and having the magic of editing were lifesavers.
You looked amazing, by the way. Congratulations on
Thank you.
Such a Star Wars nerd, and I finally started watching it, and I just love it.
You know, honestly, I'm not a Star Wars nerd, but I'm like, okay, fine. During the pandemic, I'm like, I'm gonna watch it. My girlfriend's on there. I'm gonna do it, and it's so good.
So good. Just a moment. So awesome. Congrats, Emily. That was a lot of fun to watch.
Thanks, guys.
Can I be on it? Can you make
talk
to John?
I have a lot of influence on who gets
There's no question the Mandalorian right now is carrying the flag.
What did you say, Patty?
There's no question right now. As we said, a panel yesterday, I said the Mandalorian right now is carrying the flag for Star Wars. There's no question.
Thank goodness.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure on that.
And I'm waiting for the armorer to come back.
Me too.
Yeah. So Lisa, what inspired you to become an actress?
I got into it on a dare. I did not think that this is something people could actually make a living at, to be totally honest. I was working as a makeup artist, and they were doing open call auditions for The Lion King. And my friends were just like, oh my God, Lisa, you have to totally audition for this. And I was like, guys, like, they are looking for real performers. And they said, okay, if you at least do the audition, we'll shut up about it. And I was just like, all right, let's make this interesting. Who's going to buy me a drink to, you know, nurse my wounds when I get completely rejected? And then I made it all the way to the final rounds. And I was like, it was like me and 3 other people for the role of Rafiki. And I was like,
wow.
And so it's so bizarre because I'd never had singing lessons. I'd never taken an acting class. I've just goofed around. And so it kind of inspired me to be like, well, how about I actually like try? And so I went to theater school, and then the rest is history.
You know, Lisa and I in Toronto, we used to have the same agent. And our favorite thing is like we used to see each other at musical theater auditions, and then we'd be in like fucking, excuse me, are we allowed to swear on this? Anyway.
You can say whatever the F you want. Yeah.
We're being like Mississauga auditioning for dinner theater. And then we'd like, they would hate me, and she would feel similar. And we'd take the subway home, and we'd be like, fuck this, fuck that. And I was like, oh, I love this woman. We were like, that was probably 20 years ago, you know?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah. It was so wild.
Enough, I never did a musical. Ironically enough, ever since, like, I went to theater school to be like, all right, I'm going to give this singing thing a try.
Yeah, because you went to Ryerson, right? Which is a kind of a musical
all of a sudden I just got cast as playing really dark, villainous women. And I was like, okay. That's interesting.
Well, I think as theater school and Emily and anybody else that's been to theater school, it's often musical theater school, or I went to musical theater school, and then you reach a threshold where you're like, I'm gonna make $1 a week, and I'm gonna work my tits off. Like, I have never worked harder.
Is no joke.
It's like being an athlete, but you don't get paid like an athlete. It's so much work. And I was constantly losing my voice, and I would have to go into vocal rest. I was like, this life is not sustainable for me, because I have a very fragile vocal folds. I constantly am losing my voice. So I know I ended up having to leave musical theater, which is such a bummer because I love it so much, but I just couldn't sustain it. But I didn't know that, Lisa. I didn't know that was a dare.
No, it was Supernatural that actually got me singing again, ironically.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, okay. Because I've always been hired as an actor who sings, never a singer.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take the hint. Okay.
I still remember that trailer where you sang, Oh, Death? Was that it? Yeah. And everybody was like, who's that? And I was like, I know who that is.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it changed my life. Changed my life.
I had a story about the two of you on the subway, but I miss what I called my audition buddies, where you'd go to a call, then afterwards, like, how'd you do? You go grab coffee and lunch, and you just yeah.
Even with television, like right now, everything is tapes. Everything is taped, and it's great. Tapes are great to make a tape, because then you can do it a million times and watch it and be so type A about it, do it, until you're happy with it. But there's something about the nerves and the kind of like anxiety that I think that could drive an audition. And I miss seeing like my non-friend friends, my friendly faces. I'm like, oh yeah, you're here. Oh yeah. So it's like,
after a while, it's the usual suspects for the same role.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Ruth, what pulled you into this world?
I should really have untangled this to have a clear answer. I can't pull it apart. Like, there's a picture of me when I'm 4 years old in a costume. And like, I was obsessed with Gone with the Wind when I was 7 years old. And when I was 9, I remember thinking, if I could be like Judi Dench, like my life would mean something. And I always loved it, but wasn't doing it. And I was actually a dancer who wasn't very confident with my voice. And it took me a long time to even say out loud that I wanted to be an actor, because I'm from a farm in Scotland. It seemed crazy. Like, I was saying I wanted to be a movie star, and I didn't look like Kim Basinger, or Basinger. I don't know how you say it in America. But so it took me a long time to articulate or to even fathom that I could be. And I was a dancer, and I was dating an actor, and I saw a play at the Traverse in Edinburgh. And it was a two-hander, and I thought, I could do that. I could do that. I could be that kind of actor. And then I thought, maybe I could do a thing in a television, and I had to build my confidence. And I only really, I don't know, I'm like only still really now thinking, I can really be an actor. I can really do this and maybe do more and do other jobs. So I don't know, it's been a lifetime of sort of getting there, and I think I'm probably never going to quite get there. I imagine, and a little bit like Tahmoh, where I sort of wanted to be all the things. I wanted to do all the jobs, and I thought, if you can be an actor, you can play all the things. You can be the lawyer, you can be the doctor, you can play all the things. So I don't know. I don't know is the real answer.
That's absolutely fair. Absolutely fair. So, and Sam, how about you?
No math.
No mask, right?
Oh, right.
And this comes from Kevin, who wants to know, what would your character's theme song be?
Mine's too easy. I think it would still count. I think it would just bleed right over.
Yeah.
So I want to hear everybody else's answers on this one.
Well, it's gonna be. I have to think about.
All right, fair. We will hold you in reserve. Yes.
It's not an easy one.
Be a little tricky. We get this question a lot, and it is a bit of a poser.
I feel like Lisa could answer because she knows hers, and
she did.
I did. I was like, I mean, I feel like mine's pretty self-explanatory. I was like, I'd go with that one for sure.
What one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I was like, it's how I started.
Wait, what's up? That right? Got it.
Yeah.
And we're back. Sorry. My conventions, they always play me on to Black Magic Woman, and I'm not sure I can. I'm not sure I can better that, other than maybe I sing the Body Electric or something kind of crazy that she just likes listening to.
Yeah, no, Black Magic Woman, that totally works.
Maybe Fiona Apple Fighter for Mary.
Yeah.
We've had this question so many times at conventions, and I was literally trying to think of like how I answered it or other people answered for me. And this isn't my answer, but I'm pretty sure somebody once suggested Barbie Girl by Aqua.
I was just thinking, I was like, a really poppy song would be
because it would be like this great contrast, Donna, just like driving her Raptor, just bopping along. And she is like, she's not a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. She's the opposite of both of those things. So I think it'd be kind of a great theme song, especially on the show.
For sure.
Agreed.
For Donna. That's a hard question.
It really is.
Kevin is, nothing good happens to him. So it'd be like, I don't know, like the Adams song from Blink-182 or something, like just not very happy.
This is the story of a blue man in a blue world.
Okay, there you go. That's a good one too.
I think that's right. Yeah, Tahmoh, what do you got?
It's called Amo Bishop Rodent. It's an electronica song, but it's done by a producer. These guys used to be really quite popular in the late 90s, in the early 2000s. They're called Boards of Canada. The song is Amo Bishop Rodent. I used to listen to it a lot before certain roles. It gave me this headspace. Very cerebral, very slow, kind of minimal tech song. It's a trip. I think that would be a good one for Gadreel.
Absolutely.
I have. I could not think of the song. I've been sitting here racking my brain, and it just came to me. There is a YouTube video that somebody made, a music video that they made for Dean and Amara, and it was from season 11. And it's like all these scenes of like them kissing, but then mostly like Amara smiting people and people like going up in flames and dying. And the song that they chose was "Call Me Maybe." So like this
wow,
dirty like Dean and Amara, but Amara's killing everybody. And I just love like the complete juxtaposition of that.
Yeah.
So I think Amara's song is "Call Me Maybe."
Fair. Kevin, great question. Thank you. What do we have next? From Gretchen. What is your dream role?
Also a hard question.
I mean, I'll go. I'm going to put this out into the universe. I love Nubia, which is the Black Wonder Woman. I'll put it out there. Or Storm.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down with any Marvel superhero character.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just put that out there too.
My dream role is my next acting gig.
What did you say? Your next acting gig?
My dream role is my next paid acting gig.
Yeah. I was literally I just auditioned for 3 things yesterday. I was like, one of those would do. I would take that.
It's coming.
I like this idea. I mean, I have dreams, and when I dream of being an actor, I have like, oh, I'll be saying this, and I'll be working with this person. But really, like a lot of actors really just want work, and that's a funny thing that I think that a lot of people that aren't in the business think that we get to choose.
Yeah,
and some do.
That's one of my favorite questions, though, when people are like, so what made you decide to play Amara?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I love that you told people to audition for that.
Yeah. Like, how did they convince you to take the role?
Yeah.
I was pregnant and I needed a fucking paycheck.
After great deliberation, they've been courting me for a while. But.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, I think we all have dreams, and I love that idea. And
I think it changes over time, right?
So your dream role 10 years ago is different than now. And also, the whole, like what Ruth was saying before, and Tahmoh, like, you become an actor so that you can be all these different things. I've been a lawyer, I've been a doctor, I've been all these, like, I've died a million times. So you get to experience all these things, and then one doesn't necessarily always last as the best and most and the ultimate. You're like, oh, I get to try this now. I'm going to try this hat on, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be really sad in this thing, and this one I'm going to shoot people. And like, I mean, you get to good things, bad things. You get to try everything.
Yeah, I think one of the wonderful things about being an actor is exploring that character. So even if it's your dream role, after like a year, 2 years, it might not be your dream role anymore. If it's like there's no more stories to explore. So I don't want to let it go.
And then you
put things out too, like to the universe. I remember playing for a large part of the beginning of my career. I was playing, these heroic sort of moral characters, and I was a little over it. I was like, I'm going to play a bad guy. I put it out there. I put it out to the press. Anytime I did a panel, I would just always talk about it. I was like, I'm ready for my bad guy roles. And then I had a whole streak of bad guy roles. They came, and they were fun. They were a blast. Yeah. But then I got to the point where I was like, I don't want to play these bad guys anymore. Yeah. Unfortunately, they were smaller. They were like a guest star here and a guest star there on episodic television. And unfortunately, a lot of them are very similar. And
I can't wait to be bored of playing superheroes.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that a lot. I'm taking that one.
Yeah. Well, I will say, so my Ryan Choi character who becomes the Atom, like that is actually a dream role. So 2011, I actually put together a pitch packet for it. Like I had writers involved, and I brought it to the CW with Ben Edlund, who created Kevin, and he created The Tick, and had meetings with Ben, and he's like, they're developing the Atom already. They can't even look at this. And sure enough, like 10 years later, they cast me as that character. And so if we get to the point where Ryan...
That's a great story, Osric.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, I'm still manifesting it, but if we can get to the point where like they bring Ryan back on and we can do like the full costumes, and then who knows what, I'm definitely working my butt off behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But,
I am so rooting for you on that. I really am.
That would absolutely be a dream.
I love stories like that.
Real quick, as a kid, I was obsessed with Blade Runner. And Rutger Hauer's performance as a Nexus 6, and Daryl Hannah, all of them, they were all fantastic. But Rutger Hauer was just next level. Like, it was one of those iconic performances that I just never stopped thinking about. I never stopped thinking about it. As a kid, I've watched that movie so many times. And when I found out that they were going to do a new one, I was all over my ages just trying to get an audition. I'm like, I've got to play a replicant. You got to get me in there. I have to. I never did get an audition. I love the new version of it too. But if they ever did another one or a version of it or series, which I hope they don't do, I would do anything. Anything. I'd give a digit. I'd give this one right here.
See you as the Nexus 9, the latest permutation.
Exactly. Bad gambling, he owed money. The Japanese mafia, something we could do.
No. That I've always said that the Blade Runner world is completely rife for further exploration. But but by the same token, I always thought the movie was so perfect. I was hesitant about anybody touching it. But you're right, the sequel was great.
I think Villeneuve did an incredible job.
Absolutely. Really did. Absolutely. So, Emily,
I'm going to go back to our musical theater discussion because a role that has always stuck with me is Mrs. Lovett in Sweeney Todd. And I'd love to do that one day. I mean, the character, the music, it's one of my favorite musicals in existence. And I used to say, like, someday I'll be old enough to play her. Now I feel like, I'm getting there. I could do it.
I mean, if you're going to talk about not having to do math as an actor, Sondheim is the closest thing to math.
Fair enough.
If anyone can do it, though.
It's true.
You guys would come see?
We don't kidding me.
Yay!
Yes. Now I actually want that show in existence. I'm putting my energy towards that.
Thank you. I'll take all the energy I get.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Gretchen, wonderful question. Thank you so much. I think we have time for one more. Let's see if we can go out on a fun, quick one. And this is going to come from Dusty. If the 7 of you could star in a show together, what type of program would it be? Superhero adventure musical.
Yeah. Yes.
Comedy show.
I just started last night. I just started watching a show on Apple TV called Schmigadoon. It's produced by Lauren Michaels. It just came out, and it's basically like a couple that they're having a fight and they go on a retreat. They're not getting along very well, and they accidentally cross this bridge into the land of musicals. It's basically like Brigadoon, but it's just funny, the contrast of it. And I was like, that's a brilliant idea of just taking kind of like, it's like meta. It's like in Supernatural and The French Mistake, how they landed in a world and they're like, we don't belong here. And just kind of seeing that was funny. That's funny. I don't know that, I mean, it's been done, so now we can't do it. But I definitely think like, I don't think I could do a show with this crew without it being a comedy, knowing how funny everybody is.
Please.
It would have to be a comedy.
That's what I was thinking.
And I'm also lazy, so I would want a sitcom schedule because those are the easiest TV schedules. And also you get to do it in front of a live studio audience. So
I like that idea.
A 20-page script? Whoa, what am I going to do with this?
I know.
We each switch roles.
That's good.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Writing this down.
I say, we're workshopping this. This is good.
For sure.
This is good. A collaborative. What would it be called?
Who's Who?
Broad Strokes.
Broad Strokes.
Jack of all trades.
GalaxyCon.
I'm not already. Sorry.
Naturally super.
GalaxyCon.
Naturally super. Yes, that's good.
Ooh.
That'd be funny.
I do like that.
Or we could go along with the Schmigadoon idea and we could be Schmooper Natural.
That's good.
Great ideas, guys. Great ideas. I want a writing session with each and every single one of you. This is how those dream roles get made.
That's right. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Dusty, thank you for a fun one. And GalaxyCon viewers, this has been my time with the cast of Supernatural and Supernatural. Gentlemen and ladies, any final words for our audience before we take our leave?
We miss you.
Love you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of this.
Thanks for staring at your computer for 45 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for joining us at GalaxyCon Virtual Stage. My absolute pleasure to serve you all today.
Bye, guys.
Thank you to all for today, and thank you for your great questions. Hope to see you all again soon. Until then, bye-bye, everyone. Take care, and remember, smiles are free. Send them often.